Was the blue though.
Thank God!
Here we go.
Thank God! Okay.
How long did we do this pre-show for?
Probably
Was
not.
it quite long.
Not that long.
It wasn't that long. It felt long. I felt that was still the Lich bound.
So, what do we got going here? At Finem have got the second pick. Empire got. Hey, Empire got first pick and they ban out the Lich.
Yeah. I don't think they want to take it. I don't think they want. It's
like
not their
the
play
hero.
style. Yeah. They
Fair
don't want to play
enough.
it. Yeah. I can get behind that. I think it kind of ruins the way that Empire like to play if they just pick up a Lich.
Yeah, I
You're just picking it up because it's a Lich's sake. It's not you're picking it up because you got to. I like that though. I think that's pretty respectful. Scandal Bat being banned out as the first ban.
Yeah, that's good.
The Bat's really nice for Empire because Scandal and Afterlife play really good.
Precisely.
Yeah. So if you're going to get it, you're going to get early on the draft because you've got that versatility. The Spartan Eye are being banned out again. As I said, I thought they'd ban out the Eye. I imagine they're going to take away the Earth Spirit or the Enchantress away from the Poshka here.
Enchantress. Potentially the
Would you put
Beastmaster.
Ench over? Oh, really? You put
That's the
that
question. No, I think Enchantress
or
makes
maybe
sense.
Nature's Prophet? Or would you
I think
leave
Enchantress
Poshka?
makes a lot of sense because there are so many offlaners.
Yeah. Let's have a look. What are they scared of? Ench, Earth Spirit, Nature's Prophet, Beastmaster.
Reserve time.
What's going on?
And
The Nature's
Nature's
Prophet there. So the Lima Poshka's Heroes open. I mean, again, I thought we said, didn't we, that Nature's Prophet's going to be something that both teams will look for. And yeah, Empire, so whoa, we'll take my Poshka Enchantress. Kind of good. Bounty Hunter for maybe next time first pick. And there's your Beastmaster to follow through as well.
Finally, we get to see
This is, I mean, this is what you expect.
I want to see.
This is what we were waiting
This is what you
for.
expect.
Exactly what I feel like they needed. They also denied the Beastmaster pick from Empire.
I
They
think
get their bounty on a Beastmaster. This is good.
I mean,
for Edfin.
now for the side of Empire, do you pick what the Scandal? Do you get the Scandal Puck early on?
They could get the puck pretty early
I
on.
think
Yeah,
you get the puck pretty early
Kind
on.
of nice against the bounty hunter. Not that easy to kill.
Yeah, I'd like to see a game of Scandal Puck. I'm up for that one. It depends really. It depends really how much Empire want to keep shifting in this new patch. You know, if they're finding that the stuff that they're working isn't working. And
And this
Oh!
is something that we talked about earlier in the
We
stream.
did!
Yes, the
King
Night
R, Night
Stalker
Stalker.
countering the Beastmaster and the Vision game. Sure, you have your Hawk, sure you have your tracks, but if you can't see anything, what are you going to do?
And I think I want to say,
What are you gonna do about it,
King R played a game in ASM Manila, didn't he, of Night Stalker?
Did
I
he?
swear we saw a Night Stalker from King R.
Right, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, again, continuing with this though, Scandal Puck, it's been banned out. We wondered if they'd take it second, they didn't, so obviously they jumped at that ban. Gyro, actually
I
interested
really
in
like the Slark
Empire.
ban here from Edfin.
Well, we saw
it's
didn't
very
we,
good.
that,
Yeah,
the game that
Ramses.
they'd lost, but Ramses,
Yes.
he just he's plays it so
He's
he just
a very
doesn't
good Slark
die.
player. He
and
doesn't die.
farms.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's very hard to gank. Very hard to gank his Slark.
Yeah, I like that. Empire now with this one, the Mirana that we've been seeing a lot more of as well, and something that arguably
Queen
is
of
nice
Pain,
against
I
the
feel
Night
like
Stalker.
Edfin, they're gonna
to
go.
close
But
in on him.
then again, they are up against the Night Stalker, so they might actually not wanna.
I feel like we've seen Thug pick it before in games with Night Stalker.
You can
He just
go
gets
for
the
the
Yules, early
it's,
on.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad. And Yules is also kind of nice against the Enchantress, anyways.
I mean,
So it
yeah.
wouldn't be too surprising.
I mean, who else are we thinking?
What's that-
Sven
what's
is
that
still
over
there.
Shiver?
Reserve time.
Put that away.
It smells so good.
But anyway, yeah, with this pick for Finem, I think what? You're thinking about your co-op. If you want to still go for it
Yeah,
against
I think
this
that's what they're
these
thinking
two
right now.
opening
If they want
heroes.
to do it against the Night Stalker or not.
I mean, you banned out the Puck. I mean, a hero that's going to be able to play around the co-op in the mid lane. Well, they could go for the
This
Witch
is
Doctor,
good.
though.
I like this. Yeah, for sure. The
I
Witch
like
Doctor
that.
up against the Enchantress, the Creeps, and also against the...
It's nice that
Night
Night
Stalker.
Stalker running
Yeah,
against your
it's
teammates. Max out the Voodoo Restoration,
Yeah.
and suddenly Night Stalker's not going to get those quick 1-2 burst kills.
I kind of feel like both teams are getting what they want right now. Would you say so?
I'd say so. I don't think
so
anyone's
to some
too
extent.
upset.
I mean, I like the Finim's the opening. Of course, I do like the Night Stalker. I also want to see if the Night Stalker still kind of works up against this Beastmaster and the, if you can remove the Vision game that
It's been a while
it's been
since
a
we
long
saw
time.
it.
Yeah, it's been a while since we saw it, so it's gonna be interesting.
Well, this is going to be interesting. Now that they picked up a Wyvern as well, so I guess it's going to be what Afterlife Night Stalker.
It could be an
I mean,
Afterlife
Poshka
Night Stalker,
and King R on the Wyvern. I mean, King R's great on the Wyvern. King R, one of the kind of ones that he would play.
And
His Venge, his Oracle, anyone that's got any kind of saving mechanism. He's really good at playing around his teammates, really good at playing around Ramses. So I'm happy to see him on the Wyvern, especially as we've seen Wyvern being used quite well in a few games recently. Like, people are picking the Wyvern to
MVP
deal with
Phoenix
kind of the
picks
push.
it all the time. Or Elite Wolves, rather. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Any time that the team picks up a Beastmaster, I think as the opponent, you're thinking about bringing a Wyvern into the game. It's just so good against the Necro push.
I think for the Night Stalker as well, one of the reasons you want to pick him up is because of the vision, not just reducing enemy vision, but also getting your own vision and getting that initiation right. So
Yeah,
if you want to have that Aghanims as fast as possible, you're going to put him in one of the cores. So an offlane Night Stalker here I actually like it. I probably prefer it to the support one.
Yeah, I mean, you already know that what the lane itself is. I mean, Bounty Hunter, he's not going to be sitting going against you all the time. So you're going to be dealing with 2 heroes. Nightstock, a bit of a tanky brute. It's unlikely that Finem are going to pick 1-2 heroes. They're just going to destroy Nightstock lane.
I like that.
That's a good start to that, though. I say that, and then Ursa comes out, and hang on.
Witch Doctor is actually really good at dealing with the Night Stalker.
Okay.
Although the thing is that
is Wyvern already not a counter to Ursa? Wyvern?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I think Wyvern is quite good against the Ursa. I mean,
you still get the swipe stacks up.
Yeah, but I don't think it's enough.
No.
And also Ursa can, if he's overpowered and he's close to an ally, he can actually just kill his own ally really fast.
That's true. Yeah, the curse is still good against
it. It can be scary, and another thing is that they already do have the silence up against the Ursa, so the Ursa is gonna probably have to go BKB. I mean, he kind of has to go BKB regardless because of the Winter Wyvern, so that he doesn't kill one of his allies. But yeah, this Ursa most likely gonna have to go BKB. But
I mean, we've seen a few games where Ursa's gone Diffusal as well. Do you think that?
Yeah, that could be fine.
Yeah,
could be. Yeah, good for chasing the Enchantress as well.
I'd like to see a Diffusal come into play here.
And yeah.
So you're liking the Ursa?
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's quite nice. It makes sense with the Finem lineup. Oh.
Does it still make sense?
Is that a Scandal PL or a Ramses PL?
That could be a mid PL.
It could be a Scandal PL.
It could be... I have a really hard time seeing actually Scandal play PL, but I don't think it would be necessarily bad. I just think the Scandal doesn't play there much, but I really like this hero. They don't really have anything to deal with that PL. It's gonna be quite hard. I think Finem need to... they need to figure out some way to deal with this Phantom Lancer. Whether it's a Magnus or some, I don't know, Core Earthshaker or even an Ember if it doesn't get banned out, which I suspect it might.
We're waiting for the last Thug hero, right? For Finem?
Yeah, Thug still needs his hero for Finem. And Empire still needs either Ramses or Scandal.
Because before the PL was picked up, I was going to say, like, if they're going to have the chance to pick up Queen last, they would do it. But right now, is it an option? Even with the Bloodthorn, it's not that bad. If you find the right one, you silence him, and you kill him, you got the crits going for you as well.
But I mean, the thing is, I guess Queen's nice to get against Wyvern. You've got a huge amount of burst. You know, Cold Embrace isn't necessarily going to save people every fight. It's good against Enchantress.
Zeus wouldn't be too bad, I think.
I think with the Wind Ranger, but I think they're still thinking about the Queen.
The only thing is that they kind of will lack the lockdown with the Zeus, but it would mean that they have a lot of damage and they do have this easy vision getting, but I feel like they do need a bit of lockdown.
Zeus is banned.
Zeus is banned.
So
Empire with their final one.
It does make sense against both the Wyvern and the Enchantress. I mean, they're both really squishy, so they do die very easily to a Zeus.
So King R, rather Ramses PL or Scandal PL? What do you reckon?
10 seconds.
Because it seems like Finem was expecting... Okay, they're picking the Queen of Pain up themselves, so that's a Scandal Queen of Pain.
I would say, yeah, definitely it's going to be a Ramses PL, but otherwise, I think that the mid PL could have been definitely.
It could have worked. I mean, again, I wonder if they've just left themselves open, because actually, is there any chance that Thug comes in now with an Invoker? Even considering the nerfs, you know, it's still going to be kind of nice. Cold Embrace, if you go kind of Quaz Wex, you're going to have that combo to lay down on the target, make sure he hasn't got any mana to get himself out.
But I just think if they pick the Invoker, it's going to be hard for them to actually win the game. That's what I feel.
You want to also have something that can help go high ground. Ember Spirit will be...
Yeah.
Yeah, now the Night Stalker has 2 targets he has to silence. The Ember is good against the Queen of Pain, in my opinion, and it's like the chains are really good against Queen of Pain, and the mid matchup can be difficult for the Ember, but you can slide a fist the Shadow Strike, so you make it kind of easier. Then you just farm, and in general, the Ember is, you know, quite good against the Queen of Pain in the game. Also, obviously, good against the PL. So,
yeah.
So, who's gonna take it then?
This is kind of what I wanted to see from AF, so I'm just gonna have to go with them. Also, I haven't seen that much PL coming out from Empire.
Yeah.
I am very scared for actually AF because it's a Ramses PL and
it can be very good.
Can be very scary, but yeah, I like Finem's lineup for them a lot, so I'm just gonna go with them.
I think I've got to go with Empire. I think, as I said, King R. He's going to be making the saves on his Wyvern. Meposhka's Enchantress as well, just going to be keeping the team topped up and looking for the aggression. And we know that Ramses can play heroes like the Slark that have that escape mechanism incredibly well. I don't think he's going to die that much on this PL. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to the endgame screen. I'll be surprised if he dies more than 2 times. And it's a bold call, but Ramses, he's such a safe player, and PL is a great hero to do it on. So I'm looking forward to seeing Empire really show some fancy stuff.
Okay, we're going to find out, though, which team is going to take the first game of this best of 3. We're in an elimination match here in the lower bracket for WePlay Season 3. It is time for AC and Draskell with Team Empire versus Finem.
Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. Welcome back as day 2 of WePlay Season 3 rolls on. I'm your host there in AC Chambers, joined by Draskell. And man, this is our second time back on the mic today, and I think we picked another great series to jump into, a CIS showdown at Finem, taking on one of the favorites to go deep here and in Team Empire. And I'm really intrigued by the draft. Instead of me telling you what intrigues me, why don't you tell me what I should be intrigued by?
All right, well, before we do that, we should go ahead and hop into the game because it is underway, and obviously this is going to be a bo3, but probably the most interesting matchup of the day for me personally because Finem have been a team on the rise for quite a while now. They've shown that they have very good coordination. Their drafts are most of the time very solid, and most importantly, they're a team who love to abuse bounty hunters. So, you know, Empire know this going in. They've played against Finem in the past. I think they have a good idea of what they're getting themselves into. But at the same time, a lot of teams have disrespected the bounty hunter of Finem in the past, and they have paid for it pretty heavily. So maybe next time, this is the guy that you have to look towards in the early game and say, okay, well, he's going to have to control a lot of early game tempo on the side of Finem for them to do well this game. I thought that Empire's draft, you know, I'm kind of favoring it. I really like their heroes going later on into the game. Sure, the Ember Spirit's nice, but we've seen that the Ember isn't just the de facto counter to the Phantom Lancer in a game, especially when they have the ability of going so aggressive with like the Queen of Pain, the Night Stalker and such. So it should be a very close game, in my opinion. And we'll have to just find out who plays the better Dota.
We'll come back around to that here in just a moment as the lanes take shape. Let's see who's handling who and who's heading where. Will be Afterlife for Empire heading out in the off lane. He's on the Night Stalker. That Phantom Lancer you mentioned, played by Ramses, of course being farmed up down in the safe lane. In mid, Scandal on the Queen of Pain. Going to be an interesting matchup with the Ember Spirit. We'll talk about that momentarily. It will be King R playing on our Winter Wyvern, and the Enchantress, played by Mipashka, helping out a little bit here in mid, and going to be harried by that bounty hunter you had mentioned. Speaking of, that'll be maybe next time from Finem. He's going to be harassing Mipashka and trying to make as much chaos as he possibly can. The Witch Doctor going to be played by Spartan. He's out in the off lane currently trying to help out, or trying to harass Afterlife, I should say. The Ursa played by Madara. He's trying to farm up. And then the Beastmaster out in the off lane for Finem, played by Skylark.
And just looking at the way the lanes are shaping up, nothing too crazy going on. Just, you know, the offline Night Stalker, they talked about that during the draft. We can see the Enchantress already kind of like invading Fenim's side of the map just to try to get something going here, because they did end up dropping a sentry in one of the large camps trying to slow down Mipashka's early game. And this is usually the kind of fight that you have when you have a bounty hunter against a jungler. You typically just see the bounty hunter follow around the jungler, prevent experience and whatnot, and try to make sure that you're not going to be able to just go and pressure any lanes. Because I think if, for whatever reason, the Queen gets any easier of a lane than she already has, it could be really easy for Empire to kind of run away with the early game. And once the first and second night roll around, Afterlife's going to start moving around as well. So Empire have the ability to play very aggressive for the first, you know, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes of this game.
Well, that was going to be my question to you about what makes this mid lane interesting and a place to be watching. Is traditionally, you know, you'll see a bounty hunter pick head mid and just try to harass, and as well as trying to harass a jungler like an Enchantress. But the Queen of Pain, not quite so easy to harass, able to escape, able to play a little more riskily, and not pay quite as much of a price to it. So outside of the bounty, do you think we're going to see any movement from Finem into this mid lane to try to shut Scandal down before things get too out of control?
Most likely not. It's really hard for their heroes to do anything directly against the Queen. And they would need Thug to have, you know, 2-3 points in his steering chains maybe to even think about trying to get a kill on that hero. So it's a little bit rough. The best thing that he can do right now himself is either ask maybe next time to get runes for him. So when Scandal does finish getting his bottle, that you're not going to be able to just continually get runes and control the map a little bit more than what the Ember can. And the other thing too is he can try to snipe the Courier before it gets upgraded, but that window is going to be fading very quickly as it's almost 3 minutes in already, and he has yet to be able to find it. So maybe not the ideal start, laning phase-wise in mid.
We can see a little bit of damage being done. Maybe next time knew that his sentry was dewarded and trying to clear out this side camp over by the offlane. Mipashka using that sentry provision, harassing him out. Now the PL pick. This is what I think makes me really favor Empire. came out, if I'm not mistaken, in 4th position during the draft. The only response really there was going to be the Ember Spirit. And as you said, and we saw it earlier today in a previous series, the Ember, in theory, on paper, does quite well for illusion clear. But the way it works out practically is not always that clear cut, especially if he gets up a quick defusal before the Ember really comes online. And speaking of the Ember, continuing to struggle with Scandal, just pecking away. And wow, playing ultra aggressive, going to go for the first blood. And he's going to have to heal himself up with the bottle and the fairy fire. And very close call. Oh, wait.
Oh, Flame Guard just came up. Okay.
So close.
Yeah, that was a little bit scary. I think Scandal misclicked, though, and accidentally attacked the range creep instead of getting one more auto out. So that could have actually cost him the first blood there, which is a bit of a bummer. But at the end of the day, it does send Thug back to base. So he's going to have just free reign over mid, already level 5. Thug, unfortunately, he's going to be pretty far behind after that one. The only solace that he can kind of go for here is the fact that maybe next time we'll be able to soak EXP from the lane while he's gone.
Gank attempt by Miposhka, scouted out very well by Skylark. Sent the Hawk over. Poor Hawk got hit with a stone from the baby mud golem, but made it away safely. Now maybe next time making his way to mid, as you had mentioned. And we're going to see if they're going to be able to shut this down. Currently it's 23-14, so a heavily won mid lane for Empire.
Not really too much of a shock, though. I think Finem went into this kind of assuming that Thug was going to struggle. It's more about having the Ember Spirit against the PL for the later stages in the game. Right. Because up until that point, they had such poor wave clear that they really did need to pick something that just had a very short cooldown, wave clear / illusion kind of killing hero. And Ember was probably one of the better choices they could have made, because you can't really move any of their lanes around that much. Like, you can't send the Ursa mid necessarily against the Queen, for example.
Miposhka caught out, and really no idea why he decided to hang around there. He tried to be cutesy when maybe next time engaged, he actually used the net from the Dark Troll Summoner and sat around and just waited for everyone to converge. So well played by Finem, and not a bad way to get things going, even if it did take a while to get one under their belt.
The Bounty Hunter getting the first blood is really nice for them, too. Just getting a little influx of gold. He's going to be able to pick up Orb of Venom now on top of the Windlace and boots that he already has. Just going to be more annoying for the foreseeable future, because it's already rolling into around 6 minutes in. And he wants to try to get as much as he possibly can out of this early laning phase before the Night Stalker starts moving around too much. Because Afterlife's only level 3, so I think he wants 4 minimum before he starts going for ganks, because at that point you can at least get Crippling Fear, and you don't just have like 2 points in the Void and 1 to the passive. So they got a little bit longer before Empire start doing too much, I think.
Well, like you said, maybe next time continue to be as obnoxious as he can. Scandal's going to make his way over, but no vision, no dust, nothing like that. And he'll continue to roam. Pick we haven't talked a whole lot about, I think, is this Ursa. How do you feel about this Ursa? You know, what's his online time? What are his priorities going to be? Are we going to see something like Owen had suggested on the panel, maybe a defusal pickup, or do you stay a little more clear-cut with it?
Defusal is really good, and Ursa in general is just phenomenal against heroes like Enchantress. So if you go Defusal, you can get rid of things like Crippling Fear, which is probably one of the most annoying things. You might have to hold that thought, though. Oh, they revealed the smoke.
Yep, they're going to try to rush him down, and nothing's going to come of it.
That was really awkward.
Whoa, and there's a courier pick-off. Maybe next time, yep, got to pay the price, but I think he's going to be happy to give himself up in exchange for a courier pick.
Yeah, the bottle was on the courier too when it died, so Scandal going to be a little bit annoyed with that whole situation. And bit of a Roar.
Roar on bottom. Ramsey's in trouble. Let's see if they got it. He's going to doppelwalk himself away if he can. Nope, doesn't matter. Axes are there. And that's another good pick-off for Finem.
I'm really happy to see Witch Doctor players starting to get Maledict again, because a lot of the time you just see Voodoo Restoration. But that kill doesn't happen unless he has 2 points into that. So it's kind of cool to see that they know they're not really worried about the sustain necessarily, and they just really only care about being able to have kill potential.
Right. Well, coming up on 8 minutes in now, Draskell, we can take a look at how things are kind of shaking out. The kills are definitely going the way of Finem. It's small margin, but the courier definitely a big part of the lead they've currently earned. Do you think they've done enough right now? Do you think they're doing okay in all of their lanes? Do you think that maybe they need to try to get a little bit more aggressive? Or is it really on Empire now to just try to stem the tide, get things back to status quo?
I think just getting the Bounty 6 is priority. It's not necessarily they have to do more. They just need to make sure that they get track going as soon as humanly possible, because when that happens, and they're doing the right thing right now, you know, they're making the move to Roshan. They're forcing King R to come over here. They probably know what's happening, but you know, Ad Finem are probably going to kill it before the rest of Empire even in position.
Yep, Scandal showing himself. This could be a big fight. It's getting quite low, and yeah, they're going to get it. Now Empire's going to decide if they want to engage or back off. It looks like they don't have a choice as King R caught out on the steps. This is a total backlog of heroes trying to make it up these steps right now. One down on each side. They are going to lose Spartan on the side of Ad Finem. Nope, check that. They're not. He's going to make it away just by the skin of his teeth. And they end up bringing down the PL for the second time this game at just 8 minutes in. Not the way you want this game to get going if you're Empire. That is a huge turn, and still an Aegis up on that Ursa.
That was really nice shot calling. Just realizing the Empire were going all in for the tower. The Ursa just TPs down and just goes for Roshan instantly to say to Empire, okay, you either kill the tower and lose Rosh, or you don't kill the tower and you come try to fight us. At the end of the day, it seems to work out pretty well here for Ad Finem as they take a kill lead, and they also manage to secure the Rosh on top of it. So really nice stuff coming out from them so far. But there's still that PL that we're always going to have to worry about. But Ramses has been killed twice already.
Yep.
You know, this is a hero that you look at and you're like, okay, well, Ad Finem don't necessarily have amazing catch for him in the early game, but they're still managing to take him out, and that's a bit worrisome for Empire because they don't have kind of that comeback mechanic like a bounty hunter where you can just give away kills and then turn it around with track. Ad Finem are going to be the ones looking to snowball here.
Yeah, they're going to snowball as quickly as they can. They've rotated 3 heroes down to this bottom tier 1. They want to either try to force a fight or take the tower. King R is going to be real careful. He's spotted, he's roared, and he is taking the hard way home. As that's now going to be the 5th kill. And Ad Finem just pouring it on this Empire squad. What's the answer?
Well, I think one of the answers is try not to get picked anymore, because that's always one you can look to and be like, yeah, we could probably work on that. Just don't get anyone else solo killed. The biggest issue that they're having right now is PL needs at least one item. You know, if he wants to go for defusal first, if he wants to go for like anything, he just needs an item so they can start to go into fights. And also, it would help if Nighttime was actually out, like natural night, instead of having to have Afterlife pop his ulti.
Yep.
But we haven't really seen what Empire are capable of in a large-scale fight with everyone actually there. And the Enchantress and the Wyvern are both still level 5. So we're still missing a couple of ultis, which are key. And we're still missing them actually taking a proper team fight instead of kind of running to Roshan, getting caught as stragglers, or getting picked off by the Beastmaster.
Now going to see Ad Finem group up mid, still lacking. Oh, thanks for the time count.
That's the Roshan timer right there, boys.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. Thanks for the time. But yeah, I mean, they're still lacking those level 6s. I mean, are they just going to be able to give this up, or do they really need to contest this? They're split out away from it, so it looks like they don't really want to commit a whole lot to this defense, at least not at the moment. The Night Stalker is level 7, does have a TP. If they want to try to bring him in, I'm kind of curious why they're just even hovering around if they're not going to defend at all.
Well, they're looking to back now.
Yep, Scandal jumped on, and there's the embrace to keep him alive. There's going to be a roar to try to keep him locked down. Like, what was, like, that's my question is, if they're not going to defend, why are they even anywhere near an initiation range whenever you know they have track? You know they have searing chains off of the Slide of Fist. You know that they have the ability to roar you down.
Now the vision is really, I think, what's helping Ad Finem here a tremendous amount. Like if you look at the wording, it's all super aggressive, so they know exactly what they're getting into as soon as they go into a team fight.
Right.
And it says, okay, well, we cold embrace you because the Searing Chains is there. In reality, I think Scandal was dead no matter what as soon as that Searing Chains landed, and they just weren't expecting to be flanked like that. So just a lack of foresight coming in from Empire, getting punished even harder. We talk about the snowball potential of Ad Finem's lineup with track now available. All these heroes are very good in games where it's just fast-paced, non-stop fighting.
Yep.
So they need a little bit of time to recover. The PL bots, which is fine, but to be honest, I don't even know if he can afford to go bots. Like, that's how fast tempo this game is.
Yep.
A lot of times you look at it and you say, okay, I have 2k gold, I can get the better part of a defusal, or I can buy, like, treads and a bracer or something. But I do think that Ad Finem are going to keep taking the fight to Empire.
Yeah, the Blink Dagger on Ursa would seem to agree with you, Draskell. And I was keeping an eye on him, wanted to see if he was going to go with a more modest build-up or if he absolutely just wanted to go with the mobility item. I think it's the right call.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the only Ursa build, to be honest. When you have the new Enrage, like having the damage reduction and just the mobility with the Blink Dagger and Mask of Madness attack speed and whatnot, it can... Oh, okay, maybe next time.
And there's going to be the roar out. They're going to catch Afterlife. Let's see if they can follow it up. Thugs way out front. 2 Searing Chains. Got Afterlife and King R. Sonic Wave's on point. But the Voodoo Restoration just keeps everyone up and fighting the entire time. Ipashka has to make a run for it. They did manage to bring down the bounty, as you had said. Ramses is now running amongst his illusions, but they found him. He's going to die again. 3rd death before 15 minutes. 3-for-1 exchange. The one thing I guess you can say is a nice-ish, if you can even call it that. Well, they lose the Enchantress. That's not awesome. But it was the bounty they got, so at least those weren't track kills, I guess. But other than that, just another near-on full wipe. And at Finem, snowball's not even the word. They're just flat-out stomping Empire.
Yeah, this is steamroll. This ain't a snowball. This thing has like an engine behind it, more or less.
Horsepower and stuff.
Yeah, but this is another thing, too, that I didn't really mention before, but Empire have a very big lack of disables and like hard stuns, right?
Right.
So they can't stun the Ursa, they can't stun the Ember Spirit. They really only kill heroes when the Night Stalker leads the charge, gets a Void off, and then you get a Queen ulti or a dagger or something on top of it. The problem is, they're not good at committing to a fight. They're more of like a kite-oriented style of lineup.
Right.
Whereas at Finem track you, they run at you, and if you get roared, like there's no save. Cold Embrace is not going to do anything against at Finem's heroes because you're either going to get Searing Chains out of it, or you're going to get cast, or you're just going to die because of magic damage as soon as you get inside of it anyway. So the Wyvern is not really doing a whole lot because it's not a traditional Beastmaster lineup. The Wyvern is usually the response to Beastmaster to make sure that you can stop the push by either using Splinter Blast or using ult. But they're not playing it like a normal Beastmaster draft where you just 5-man all the time. They're just running in for kills.
Good kill at bottom.
Here we go.
Yep, that's one they needed very desperately. Not enough to totally reverse their fortune, but certainly a step in the right direction. Tier 1, though, will be lost at top.
I think at Finem are still okay with this.
Yeah.
Like, losing the Ember is not obviously something that they want to happen, but the trade that they're making for it and the fact that Empire are probably not going to be able to kill the offlane tower either, I think they're going to have plenty of time, honestly, to respond to this if they want to take the fight. Although Madara doesn't have a TP, so maybe they do let it go, actually.
Doesn't have a TP, but he's only about 1,000 gold off of BKB. Now they're going to roar out as Skylark has jumped back behind his own tower. There's a great Sonic Wave, caught 3 heroes. They followed up onto Spartan. And that's a real nice turnaround for Empires. Now they're beginning to find a little bit of momentum of their own. And it's exactly what you were talking about, Draskell. It's basically their order of operations. How do you engage? What heroes are out front? What abilities are being used in what order? And, oh, they do manage to stop it. Ipashka now going to be a track kill, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, whenever they get everything in order in the right way, maybe getting a flank or getting a jump, it goes well. But still, the itemization and just the overall lead of at Finem is something they're going to have to contend with for quite some time to get back to even.
The thing that's really scary, you already kind of hit on, is the fact that the Ursa is going to have BKB before like 18 minutes even.
Yep.
His farm is just ludicrous. And the problem, like the only problem with at Finem's lineup is, we are going to see a scan here. It's going to spot out Ramses, but obviously don't know who it is. They can't really, their high ground is mediocre, right? So they have a bunch of melee heroes. They have Beastmaster, Bounty Hunter, Ursa, Ember. So going high ground is going to be a bit of a nuisance for them. And they are also playing against pretty good deep push in the Winter Wyvern. They're going to get harassed by Queen. They're going to get harassed by Ench.
And they spawn Ramses. Thugs leading the way. They've got Roar at the ready if and when. And there's going to be the Doppelwalk.
Nicely done.
Doppelganger, excuse me.
Close enough. Doppel something.
Yeah, the Doppel. The DP. Anyway, like you said, good escape there. All right, so looking around the map, I mean, the items are coming out very well for at Finem. Let's talk a little bit about Empire. Looks like Scepter's going to be the pickup for the Night Stalker. He's already picked up the point booster. And that Diffusal is on the way and getting close to done for the PL. How big of an item do you think that Diffusal is going to be in just their combat potential?
It's going to help a lot for Ramses because it will help him stay on a target and just be able to take it down. So, for example, the Bounty Hunter, if he gets caught out, Beastmaster, Witch Doctor, a lot of these heroes don't really have a response to the Diffusal damage. Not only that, but just the illusions on top of it with Doppelganger just adding more confusion to the fight. And plus, it also helps you to remove track if you don't want to have to commit a doppelganger to get rid of it. So it leaves you a lot of options in the fight itself. So it is going to help tremendously. There's no question. I do think that if the game goes on without Finem being able to deal like a death blow to Empire's face, like getting a set of racks or maybe even getting 2 sets, there is always going to be the chance for them to come back just because of that PL hero.
Yep.
It's just all very dependent on Finem's high ground attempts and what they're actually able to accomplish in that regard. So having a 10-second BKB and an Aegis, they're setting themselves up for the best possible chance of making a high ground push successful, or they can also just control the map for a longer period of time and kind of choke Empire out slowly.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, man. Like, with this lineup, hang on. Thug, this is bad. Sonic Wave after the silence, and down he goes. That's a really nice kill. And off of that, as well as the defusal completed on the PL. I was going to say maybe try to get another fight under your belt before PL gets his defusal up. And now I'm beginning to feel like it's a bit of a race, like you said. How many objectives can you clear before you really start to see the late game potential of the PL show itself even more than it is already? And now Mapashka caught out as well.
Man, that's got to feel so bad. Like, you pick up an Invis and you just walk past a Sentry with a Beastmaster there and you're like, oh, come on now.
And Madara going to engage. Ramses diffused as he will doppelganger away, try to doppelganger away. There's, oh, so unbelievably close. That's a high flying cast because that's going to connect all the way back in the fountain at some point, but very close call.
Yeah, he had good awareness though. He realized that he had enough time to make a getaway with the travel. So good stuff coming in from Ramses again. But the defusal is kind of it's one of those items where now Finem have to feel like they are under a little bit of pressure. They were doing extremely well, but they need to keep it up. They can't let the game devolve into this running around the map, trying to stop split push and things like that, because that's the game that Empire want to play. They have good mobility, and until the Beastmaster actually finishes up the Blink Dagger, they're not going to have enough catch. Like, just the Ursa is not enough. Like, you can't kill the Queen with just an Ursa initiation or the PL. You need somebody with an actual lockdown to get a Blink Dagger.
Looks like we're going to find out just how badly they want to fight. They're taking a run at the Tier 2 top. They've got maybe next time in position to throw out the tracks and try to keep vision. Looks like this is not going to be contested by Empire. They're just going to let it go. You think this is the right call?
Yeah, I do. I don't think there's any reason to defend a Tier 2 tower unless your entire team is in force, ready to go, especially when you're up against a 10-second BKB and an Aegis Ursa. That's just so risky for them.
Immediate TP's down the bottom. They've got Afterlife caught out, and they're going to be able to clean him up. So they end up being able to bail out and get something done. However, maybe next time, not quite so fortunate. He's going to drop, unable to make it back with his team. Madara did manage to make it out. The Aegis still in tow. That Aegis should not have all that much time left on it, though.
That should be going away relatively soon. I think that what Empire were trying to do is just pull out a couple of heroes away from the top lane just so they could re-engage, because they do have the capability of, like, going in with the Queen of Pain, throwing out an Orchid onto somebody, and chasing. But they just ended up sacrificing their Night Stalker for it, which, to be honest, he did just buy his Aghanim, so I guess it's okay. And maybe getting the Bounty Hunter off the map is a little bit better. But they're also going to be losing their safe lane Tier 2. So at the end of the day, again, at Finem, they're making the better trade.
Yep. Playing with a sort of urgency that we had been talking about. Just, you know, they could have fallen back there, farmed a bit, then made a run at the Tier 2. Nope. As soon as they got the kill, they rushed straight down the lane and basically dared Empire to come out. And with good reason. I mean, they maintain a sizable lead. It's not enough to be game-breaking at this point. But we have yet to really see Bounty Hunter come into his own, like, in terms of track. I don't feel like we've seen that many track kills this game.
There have been a few, but yeah, it's kind of slowed down in the sense of actual kills.
Right.
Since the Bounty Hunter has hit 6, because Empire are like, whoa, we need to calm down and stop getting picked off so much and just try to split the map up a little bit. And by doing that, they've managed to get their PL, the Blink Dagger now. He's got his defusal, so he wants to be inside of the fight and he wants to be mobile. He knows that the name of the game is just trying to split.
Oh, Scandal. Big kill there, down for 53 seconds now, and they're going to be able to try to maybe make a run. The Aegis should expire momentarily, though. Maybe about 60 seconds.
Oh, Afterlife cannot lose this gem. That would cripple them so hard.
Let's see. Empire going to pull all the way back. They've got Thug helping push the creep wave up, and they're ready to make a run. Still 30 seconds on the Queen of Pain. And this could be a game-winning fight if they decide to push. Or they just, maybe they're going to pull back and just do Ancients.
Well, if they know that the entirety of Empire is sitting in the base, barring the PL, then it's okay for them to just farm a little bit, because Empire are not being as efficient on the map as at Finem. And that's kind of what you see when a lot of these teams are a little bit scared to go high ground, because their team is not really built that well for it. Like, they're good at controlling the map, but they're not good at actually ending and getting a set of racks.
Right.
So you need to have a massive golden experience lead occurred before you can feel confident in pushing that. And as we talk about the Aegis fading a little while ago, it is gone now. So Madara is not going to have access to the second life, but he does have Basher. His farm is actually, like, insane. Like, BKB, Basher, Mask of Madness, Blink phase, 23 minutes.
Not very often you see an Ursa with just 4 kills, and yes, 4 kills is good at 23 minutes, but it's not like he's just blowing the map up completely. An Ursa with just 4 kills sitting at 13,000 net worth, which is about 2.5K ahead of the PL. Now, the PL's died a bit, as we've seen over and over. In fact, he's died 3 times. But he actually has more last hits than the Ursa by only 10, which is saying something.
Especially considering he spent most of the game trying to avoid fights and just keep farming, you know?
Exactly.
It's just the fact that he's been caught a few times that puts him so far behind.
Yep, he's even got boots of travel, allowing him to farm much more efficiently than the Ursa, who's sitting on phase. Here we go. It's going to be the Darkness and Night Stalker.
This is a scary moment for Ed Finem, though. I mean, they've dewarded almost everything that Ed Finem has thrown down there because of the Aghanim's gem, Night Stalker with the Quelling Blade.
Yep.
There's only one actual ward left in a Sentry that they can go through, and that's going to help a lot in stopping Ed Finem from applying that constant pressure, because vision in these scenarios for Ed Finem is so crucial. If they don't have it, they can't effectively pressure, and they always have to be scared about the NS and just having vision over them. And plus, the Beastmaster Hawks can very easily be killed by a Night Stalker. One Void kills it, and you're always going to be able to see wherever it's standing. So it's a bit tricky now, trying to control the map here for Ed Finem. They kind of want to stick together, but at the same time, they know if they do that, then Ramses is going to be off somewhere farming, and it gets a little bit more hectic for them as the game goes forward. But
let's talk a little bit about the Blink Daggers. I mean, Blink Dagger on PL, on Ember, it's not like it's unheard of, but what do you think the overall mindset with those items is? I mean, this, especially for the Ember, I think, who is a hero who really, really wants to be able to deal damage, to have the potential to clear out Phantom Lancer illusions. Why do you think he chose Blink at this stage of the game?
I think it's because the chasing potential with the Beastmaster and already having Ursa with the Blink. The more Blink heroes that you have on the same team, the better synergy that the Blinks actually get with each other. So like one hero blinking in is great, as we see it here.
Yep, Roar on the Afterlife. Here comes the TP in. That's going to be Thug. He's there to help clean up shop. Down 50 seconds. Now Skylark's going to hope he can get away, and he will. Very good situational awareness to realize that, hey, I'm going to be caught. May as well roll the dice and hope there aren't going to be any stuns. And like you said earlier, Draskell, and it's beginning to show itself a lot, is this Empire squad does not have a lot of dedicated lockdown whatsoever. And it impacts everything from how they take team fights all the way down the line to, are they able to stop a hero from TPing away right in their face?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle for them, just trying to make sure that they can hold somebody down long enough to kill. But thankfully, he put the gem on the courier before he died. So the gem is actually sitting in base right now for Empire. They didn't lose it, which is something that is super important for them, as Ramses.
Yep, Thug got him. There's the track. They no losing him now. Let's see if Thug, nope, thought better of it.
He's out of mana.
There was actually nobody anywhere near the vicinity to come and help the PL, but still probably the safe, cautious call.
Yeah, no reason to chase out. Too aggressive. It's starting to become a little bit worrisome, though, for Ed Finem, truthfully, because this PL, you know, he's not farming at an insane rate, but he is getting more and more items. So that, like, the next thing he gets is a Manta, most likely, and that Manta style means that your Ember Spirit is not really going to be able to focus him down anymore, because he can break Searing Chains, he can break the track, he can pop Manta to stop a Roar from going off and things like that. It's getting a little bit tricky. And yeah, the next Roshan is going to mean a lot here for both teams. If Empire, for whatever reason, can test this successfully, I think that Ed Finem might actually just fall behind by virtue of hero composition.
Yep. Well, I was going to ask you a few minutes ago, you mentioned, you know, going high ground is tricky. What's the itemization if you're Ed Finem that's going to make that less tricky? Like, what's going to let you crack through at this stage?
I don't think it's necessarily what they buy. I think it's being really far ahead is what is going to help them. They need like one full item on each person, right, in comparison to what Empire have to feel confident pushing that high ground. You know, whether it be like a Hard on the Ursa or a Scotty or a Hex or whatever, they just need an item.
This could be an effective smoke gank. They've got a total flank on. Let's see if they're able to engage correctly. There we go. They go right on in. Maybe next time. Oh, wow. Skylark just blown off the map. And at Finem, what looked like it was going to be a beautiful chance for them to just take this apart, they end up losing 2 immediately. Buyback from the Bounty Hunter. We see the Ember just bail. Madara's left to his own devices, and he's going to drop. What a disaster as Empire. I mean, I didn't... Break that down for me, Draskell. I mean, we saw them move in. It looked like they had the angle. It looked like they had everything they needed to make that fight theirs. And instead, Empire just dominates.
Well, basically 2 really big things happened. Beastmaster died without using his Roar. Like, he got the book off, but he didn't get Roar, which, if you get the book, okay, fine, but you need the lockdown with it so you can get the damage from the book and the mana burn on the hero that you want to actually drop. And because of that, like, the Ursa goes in, pops BKB, wants to go on King R, but he gets Winter's Curse while he's BKB'd. So then his BKB duration is kind of dwindled away. He used Cold Embrace afterwards to make sure the Ursa didn't hit anyone for a longer period of time. And he just got straight up kited. And we talk about that a lot with this lineup of Empire, is they are great at kiting and their mobility is very high. So when you go in as Ad Finem, you need to make sure that your Roar results in a kill. That is so, so important for them. And if the Roar doesn't get cast because of an Orchid cast by Scandal, then the fight is already really difficult for you.
Looking at, I mean, like, you know, it's so tricky, and this is where I defer to your expertise. It's easy for us to be like, oh, yeah, all I have to do is come through the trees and horse somebody because we have God.
Oh, it's not easy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not easy.
Exactly. I was going to say, like, what's the, like, he has the blink, and he doesn't want to blink blind for sure, but it seemed like, you know, again, like you said, the importance of it, it just felt like their team fight never really got started, and now they're paying a heavy cost as the PLs picked up his Manta style, as you had said, and I'm kind of worried. Like, I'm not, you know, that could have been a game-losing engagement, and when you look at the Golden experience, it damn well looks that way.
Well, I talked about how that Roshan contention would be super important for both teams, and it could be kind of the straw that breaks the back of Ad Finem here, because they needed to consistently be able to pressure for them to ever, like, be able to go high ground, right? So because their team is so bad at breaking base, and now they're not actually ahead by a wide margin anymore, the grip on the game suddenly starts to fade a bit. And that's really, really troubling because Ursa doesn't get like super strong with 6 items, for example. Like, this is the power curve of Ursa where you get like BKB, Blink, Mask of Madness, and Basher. Okay, yeah, you can buy like a Hex, and that's pretty much it. We're gonna see, probably he goes for Hex. I don't think he goes for Abyssal. They are gonna find the Beastmaster here in the top lane as well. So, more control going the way of Empire. But like Ursa doesn't get that much stronger, and the Ember doesn't have that much yet. Like, sure, he's got the Blink, Battle Fury, and a Chrysalis in the stash, but he's not equipped enough to kill the entire squad of Empire on his own.
I mean, like, just looking through things, it felt like they were in such good shape that, you know, the way we talked about it, pretty much the whole game, it felt like it was tenuous, and it wasn't going to take a lot for things to flip around. Not to say they don't still have some amazing tools in their arsenal.
Oh, they can still win. It's just a rough road ahead.
Yeah, exactly. It's no longer a just continue to bounce around and make things happen kind of a win. It's a very methodical, I think, approach to trying to find the win. For Ramses, I'm curious to see what his next item is going to be. Does he go pure HP? Does he go Butterfly? What do you think?
I would like to see something like a Heart, personally.
Yeah.
Because I think Heart against Ember is just such a good item, and we saw it used earlier as well. It's just when you buy the Heart, the Ember can never actually kill you because he doesn't do enough single target damage. And unless you have like a full set of illusions around you and he crits a lot, you're just not going to die. And then you're forcing the enemy team to get another lockdown item, like maybe the Finish Abyssal or the Hex, which I think Madara's going Hex because he has the Ultimate Orb right now. But I think once he gets that health item, Ad Finem just they can't kill him anymore unless they roar him and there's no one else there to help.
Darkness deployed. The Empire playing very aggressively up on the other side of the map. And looks like, yeah, they're just going to completely chase back Ad Finem. They tried to use the Hawk to gain vision, but instead they lose the tier 2 after it was brought down with the Spirit Lance. And now, is it Empire's turn to try high ground? Certainly looks like that's what they're thinking.
Well, their team isn't necessarily great at killing high ground either, but they do have a hero that is very difficult to lock down, which helps tremendously when you are trying to break base. And another reason why I kind of figured he would go Heart, because with a Heart as PL, you can walk up, tank the tower shots, back up, heal with the Heart regen, and just keep going. You know, it's just whittling it down slowly and keeping Ad Finem in the base.
Right.
That's the kind of Dota that you want to play against Ad Finem's lineup now, because their team is not really good from behind at all, and they're kind of slowly slipping into that fate. So it's really rough here. They're going to go for a smoke, maybe just trying to go for a panic play, try to establish some dominance over the map again. But it's really, really difficult now.
Hurricane Pike out on the Enchantress. This will be a fun item to watch. First time I've casted it, so hooray.
It's a really strong item on it, for sure.
Up there we go, Roar. And they're going to bring everyone in, but there's, yes, the winner's course. And they're going to end up losing one just to the curse alone. They did drop the gem as well as lose the Night Stalker and the Winter Wyvern, though. So Ad Finem able to make something happen off of that smoke. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to do a whole lot with it other than fall back. But as you had mentioned, losing the gem is such a big, big deal.
Well, fortunately, the gem is off cooldown in the shop, so they can just buy another one. The biggest difference is, like, when you buy gem, there's a couple minutes where you can't buy it. So if you lose it, then you just don't have any way of getting it back.
Oh, Scandal spotted out. He will be able to blink away, though.
That was a very fast reaction. Ramsey just wants to go in. He's got that Aegis. He's like, let's go. Okay,
Well,
now he doesn't.
Yeah, now he's rethinking it a smidge.
But you can tell, you know, Empire are looking for the fights now more than they ever have been in the game. And that's because they realize that the power curve of Ad Finem's heroes is kind of dropping off a bit. And Ember's in that really weird state where he kind of needs another item to really feel strong again. And the Ursa is just like, okay, I got really high single target damage, but I need my Hex before I'm really going to be scary.
Well, the Hex, I mean, yeah, I mean, like...
He's going to have it soon.
Yeah.
It's not like he's farming slowly. It's just the execution required for Ad Finem to win just keeps getting higher and higher.
Right.
And now with the addition of Heart on the Phantom Lancer, which I'm really glad he got that. I feel like it's the right item in this situation. 3,000 health and 23 armor. Like, it's going to take a lot to bring him down.
Well, he's still got a ring he could sell, too, if he wanted to go for Butterfly.
Yeah, I think he will, most likely. Because the Ursa can't itemize for MKB. That's another problem. That's why the power curve of the Ursa falls off so much, is because against these agility carries who do buy Butterfly, this Ursa build cannot get MKB, unless he wants to get rid of Basher. And then you're getting rid of one of your lockdown items, which, as Ursa, you want lockdown, because you need help hitting a target unless you have the Basher and the Hex. So.
Well, Abyssal, we know, changed quite substantially over the last patch.
Yep.
What do you think about, like, I mean, you know, if you're going to have the Basher, you may as well get the Abyssal, but is it an item that is anywhere near what it used to mean to an Ursa?
I think it's still really good, because Ursa does so much damage just by having, you know, Enrage active, some Fury Swipes, and Overpower. I think it warrants a purchase, in my opinion, just not before things like Hex. Because with Hex, you have the mana regen that lets you stay out on the map forever. You can wave clear more because you can be more liberal with your Earth Shock spam, which doesn't sound big, but really, when you get to this level, you really want to make sure you're getting the maximum efficiency out of your hero. And plus, Hex, you don't have to be in melee range for it. So if you short your blink a little bit, you can Hex him from a distance and then catch up and be able to hit him after the fact. But I assume he'll just make both. I don't think he'll just get Hex. I think he'll get Hex and Abyssal.
Think you have time? I mean, we're 36 minutes in.
That's a question I don't know the answer to just yet. We'll have to find out.
Because, I mean, Empire, Ramsey's going deep, and there's going to be the roar. He whiffed it. He whiffed it. Oh, no, never mind. He got the Night Stalker up on the high ground. I thought he whiffed trying to roar Ramsey's.
I think he panicked when he saw the doppelganger from the field.
I think he did too. But that's now on cooldown for a bit. That's going to be on cooldown for a full 60 seconds. And we'll see if Empire, how they want to capitalize on this. They're just going to stick Ramsey's out in front and wait for Ad Finem to perhaps engage. They're actually pulling back again. I'm a little surprised at that.
That's okay, though, because, again, they're forcing Ad Finem back into the base.
Yeah.
They're playing a much more disciplined game. They're saying, look, we know that our lineup is probably going to beat yours just on paper the later the game goes. Again, not that it's impossible for Ad Finem to win, but it just requires a higher level of execution. And they're okay with just stopping them from getting anything done, and we're just slowly out-farming them. Because if Ramses gets a Butterfly before they take the next fight and no one on Ad Finem has an MKB, he's not going to die.
Yep.
He's just not dying. There's no way. They have to, like, roar him, get the Necro Book on him, have Ursa go on him as well, like with a follow-up Hex, and just pray that Empire don't help the PL, which is clearly probably not going to happen, right?
Well, just to build on the point, too, it's something we haven't really talked about, but in terms of, you know, a PL who has a heart and has a butterfly, it's not like they got a ton of magic damage. It's not like they've got the ability to just burst him down. Like
that's why the butterfly is such a good item in this game, because no one's a natural MKB carrier except for maybe the Ember.
Right.
And the Ember doesn't even want to buy that. So again, it's the word we come back to is tricky.
Yep. Here we go. At Finem showing themselves a bit. Everyone's kind of clustering around this bottom corner.
They're getting scouted out though by the Night Stalker, so well aware of what's happening here, Empire.
Yeah, it looks like they will go ahead and break up.
But this is what I mean, right? Because the Night Stalker just gives you more vision now than a Beastmaster can, and plus you're restricting the vision of Ad Finem simultaneously.
Yep.
And you can deward everything for free. There's a blink on the Night Stalker too, so you know, keeping vision up for Ad Finem is going to be a chore. And you really do need vision from when you're behind. That's like the hardest thing about playing Dota when you just don't have any vision, is just not understanding fully what you're getting into. Because as observers, obviously, or commentators, we know what kind of fight they're going to be taking.
Right.
But they don't.
Right.
They're just like, how many heroes are here? We can guess by what we see on the map, but we're not always 100%. And that's a really scary thing when you're already behind.
Right. Now the Roshan has respawned, and it could be the side of our next major engagement. Empire beginning to stick together more now than I think they have pretty much all game. Ad Finem is continuing to split the map, but still doing so in small groups. Looks like they want to hook up. And is there a smoke on someone? Usually you see a team pull back like this. They're either scared of a smoke or planning to smoke. Looks like they were worried about it and just wanted to hook up as a group. The Beastmaster is still hanging out way up in the top left corner. Of course, he can teleport to his Hawk as needed with the Boots of Travel. And let's see what the play is going to be. Ad Finem making their way down in the river now.
Absolutely need Roche.
Yep. Oh, wow, they spot out Afterlife. No, there's going to be the Embrace and the Winner's Curse. Let's see if they're going to be able to try to turn this. It's tricky, trying to find an angle. It's going to be the Roar. They just roared Afterlife, who was so unbelievably low to begin with, but just such a high priority target. They decide to go for it, but now the chase is on. Ramses is right in the thick of things. He's down. There's going to be a Sonic Wave that catches two and does excellent damage, but they lose the PL immediately afterwards. A Courier manages to drop in the meantime. Scandal eats the cheese up. They're going to try to turn it, but the damage is so overwhelming from Ad Finem. Thug and Madara getting the job done. That word we use quite a bit, Draskell, tricky. Well, they figured it out, because that's a full 5-man wipe. And Empire, not a soul on the map. Ad Finem about to claim another Aegis and another cheese.
Dear God, that fight was like, at first when I saw them roar Afterlife, I kept saying to myself, how are they going to kill PL now, right?
Yep.
Because they commit the roar. But he got destroyed by Hex and Cask. Like, his illusions strapped him next to each other, and he was just getting slaughtered by the Ursa and then the Ember Spear, obviously, who were sitting right there, throwing out Sleight of Fist and whatnot. So that was probably about the best engagement you can ever hope for if you're in Ad Finem's position. And they walk away with the cheese, they walk away with the Aegis, and potentially even forcing a maybe one buyback out of Empire. Scandal feels like he's not going to have the time that he needs to be able to respawn. So, again, amazing fight. Like, honestly...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Real bad. That's super bad.
Oh, my goodness. And should mention, by the way, as well, that wasn't a full 5-man wipe. That was a full 6-man wipe. As a dieback from the Night Stalker was there. Are they just walking out to feed? They're going out one at a time against this team that we know has that mobility. And now Ramsey's back up. Maybe he could stem the tide a little bit. But not before the racks are down at the very least. 40 seconds on the Enchantress, 20 on the Wyvern. And yep, they're going to jump. There's the Hex. Do they have it? If he drops, it could be it. Sonic Wave's on point. There comes Afterlife trying to buy time. Ramses does manage to make it away with sub 400 HP. And it looks like Ad Finem happy to just... No, never mind. I thought they were going to pull back and lick their wounds.
They killed the PL with Maledict, so he dropped to the Witch Doctor Maledict.
Very nice.
That means that they don't really have to go back. And worst case scenario, they force a buyback, but they don't know if the PL has buyback yet or not. So they're kind of just testing the waters. They're seeing, okay, if he's going to buy back, we're going to run. But we do want to try to force it if he does have one. The problem is, he doesn't have one.
Not for it.
He will soon.
Yeah, it's actually counting up pretty quickly, so we'll have it now. So the question is, does he hide it? Does he show it immediately?
They have to wait until there's a good fight opportunity before he wants to buy out. So like maybe they open up with a curse and then he buys back, TPs into the fight, blinks in. Or maybe the Night Stalker blinks in and they start an engagement and buy back with him. But with daytime coming, maybe Empire just say, forget that, we're just gonna wait the 30 seconds.
Madara back out front, still has the Aegis, and now there's the engagement. Heading in on Scandal, and that might be enough. Yeah, it looks like they really were just trying to overly test the waters, trying to feign an engagement, trying to maybe bait out the buyback, but they're happy to pull back now. Either way, great sequence for Finem as a game that looked like it had slipped away from them entirely. They had given up a lead to Empire for the first time in about a 15-20 minute stretch. Now the biggest lead of the game in favor of the underdogs as they're up to about 15,000 overall gold lead, as well as the same in experience. Great play from these guys.
It's probably one of the single biggest swings that we've seen so far here at WePlay, just because of the fact that, you know, they got Bounty Hunter, they got Rosha, and they killed 6 heroes. Actually, I think it was like 8 heroes in total that they killed before they backed. Took an entire set of racks.
Yep.
That's the kind of gold swing that wins you Dota for sure. And unfortunately for Empire, it's not. You know, you look back at that game and you say, okay, well, our PL literally got stun locked by a cask and a hex, and we just didn't have anyone in position to try to help him, because if you look at the way the fight kind of shaped up, the Winter's Curse and the Force Staff were both used on Afterlife to try to get him away.
Right.
So actually committing the Roar at that point worked out, because there was nothing left to save the PL. So we talked about the importance of having somebody around to either cast a Cold Embrace or use a Force Staff or something, or a Glimmer if they had one, on the hero that gets initiated on, but they just had nothing left because they spent everything trying to save the Night Stalker. So that fight just ends up being one of those situations where on paper you figure that Empire would win, but because of how much they commit to getting one hero away who still dies, Finem are just able to steamroll it because they have everything left. You know, all of their abilities are relatively short cooldowns.
Well, speaking of having everything, that's a 6-slotted Ember Spirit as he completes a Lincoln's and an MKB right back to back. So, and still has 2,000 gold left in the bank, by the way. So unless he wants to sell his Blink and go for some other damage item, add a Rapier if he really wants to put the nail in the coffin, a little risky, but would be an option. But, I mean, right now, it just seems like everything you were talking about, Draskell, and so presciently pointed out, it's like, yeah, it's not so much items, it's just they just need a lead. They just need an extra item. They need an extra level or two. They've got those things now, and they're going to be able to grind this out at their own speed.
Yeah, with the MKB purchase too on Thug, it's going to be really easy for them to be able to deal with the PL now.
Yep.
Because you have the Hex initiation, you also have like the follow-up with the Ember Spirit and Spartan. He is, like, his death wards have been pretty on point. He doesn't have Aghanim's or anything, but he's also super tanky. So they're not really able to reliably interrupt him either, which I think has been a little bit of an issue. And we saw how devastating Cass can be in that fight inside of the woods for a PL who gets hexed up without any doppelganger out. So the thing is, if you have 2 illusions, or like 3 illusions, the Cats can actually stun you forever, pretty much, and then you have no way of escaping, especially if you're standing right on top of them. But Hex now done on Scandal. That might be enough to help them defend this high ground push.
Aegis does expire. Let's see how they want to go about this, playing very cautiously as Finem. Just testing the waters, getting what free damage they can. Quickly while they're backing here. I was going to say, it looks like they were going to back and then maybe reset and come out with creeps. What the hell with that? Looks like Empire wants to take the fight to them. Let's see if they can find anyone, and let's see if they really want to pursue this.
I think they saw the Aegis go away on the Ursa, and they decided that they wanted to try to go for it, but not fast enough, unfortunately.
Well, if you're Empire, I mean, you know, you turtle up, you hope for mistakes. That's always partially the answer. Is there anything else you can try to do for yourself? There, like you said, Scandal getting the Hex, that gives them a little bit more room to breathe. Is there some other item, some other approach? I mean, they're smoking now off of Night Stalker's vision. But what's your #1 priority right now?
I think they just need to find a pick. They need to get the map control back. That's like priority #1 for sure.
Oh, they found one. Skylark, Scream down. Sonic Wave down, and they get a gem out of it too.
Yeah, so they got one of the gems back, I think. Because all the gems I think that Finem had, maybe not all of them, but that one for sure was purchased by King R. So nice to get your hands on a little bit of gold that you spent earlier. And that also means that they'll have one just in case the Night Stalker dies again, so they can just put on the courier, send it back to base and whatnot. But this is the importance of getting a pick, right? Because as soon as that happens, Ad Finem send 2 people back to base, and they only have 1 person out on the map actually doing anything. And that's why picks in the late game become so much more important, because you're just getting the lanes pushed out in your favor when you know that the other team is not going to be moving outside of their base. And you can also just farm whatever you want during that duration. So they have to wait for the Beastmaster to respawn to feel confident in being able to do anything again.
For now, both teams happy to just farm it up a little bit longer. I mean, Pashka, you know, waiting to see, really haven't seen all that much damage output out of him. You know, in many games, at least pre-patch, by this time you would see an Enchantress just laying out damage with something like a Mask of Madness, maybe a Scepter. Do you think that's the natural transition here from Pashka, or do you maybe get rid of the wand to get more of a utility item?
It's hard because it depends on if he feels safe in the fights or not. The problem with Ench this game is a lot of times after 6.87 came out, we haven't been seeing too much Ursa. And Ursa just absolutely slaughters Enchantress. And we saw that, I think, throughout the entirety of this game. Beastmaster is pretty good against it as well. Ember Spirit doesn't have to auto-attack you. You can just spam Sleight of Fist. So unlike a lot of Ench games where you can kind of just sit around and throw out impetus attacks, he's not really had that luxury. Right. He's had a hard life. So he's made more like defensive items, like getting the Hurricane Pike, getting the Ghost Scepter up. I think eventually he wants an Aghs for sure. Like Aghanims is just such a good boost for him in terms of survivability and damage. But I don't know if he'll actually have the time as Ad Finem. They want to go for the throat here, I think.
Here we go. Moving on in. Afterlife's there. And Sonic Wave just to clear the wave. Give themselves a little bit of time. Let's see how Ad Finem wants to go. Once again, priority looking to be the Roar. Just making sure they have their lockdowns used. There is a Glimmer Cape on Spartan, so you can get people out of trouble as needed. And the slow siege. Second time we've seen it here the last few minutes.
It's just posturing here from Ad Finem. They want to, like, Roshan's going to be up really soon, so they want to try to contain Empire for a little while, look to maybe push out their own lanes a bit, and then try to go for a Roshan. Because one of the worst ways that you can have a late game transition is just having the enemy team out on the map when Roshan's up and you not like going to contest it fast enough and it dying. Because it's 50 minutes in, so Roshan's going to die pretty darn quick, regardless of which team starts going for it. And Empire realized this, they're already out and about, they want to try to make something happen here, but you know, Madara is still top. This could actually be really bad.
Yep, maybe next time. Picked off for free, so that's 70 seconds now that Empire's going to be able to operate a little more freely, not having to worry about it.
Roshan is going to spawn, and they're going to scout it. And I think that's a little bit problematic for Ad Finem. Or they're not scouting it. Uh-oh. Okay. they're more worried about like stopping the lanes from pushing in, which is fair enough. Like you don't want mid pushing in when you go for Rosh. They still have some time though before the Bounty Hunter respawns. They might be able to just go in. Oh, they're going for the sneak. The Hawk play. Oh, this is so good.
That's so smart.
Oh my god, Empire didn't check Roshan. They were going to be so sad. Oh god.
Brutal. And get ready for sad faces in 3, 2, and 1. Oh man.
That's one of those things where you look at the replay and you're just like, man, why didn't we just walk in the pit? We were right there.
No, PL literally walked right by it. He walked right here.
That's painful for Empire.
Well, let's see if they're going to be able to hold the line one more time. Empire, win, lose, or draw, has really stemmed the tide of this aggression from Ad Finem very effectively and drawn this game out to a stage where, you know, before the game started, we both thought that they would feel very comfortable and find themselves in a comfortable position, but they still find themselves on the ugly end of a massive deficit, 15,000 gold, and just about that in experience as well, although we are beginning to see heroes get near the level cap, so the experience end is not going to be as big a deal the later game we go, at least for the major cores. But in terms of the itemization, 6 slotted Ember Spirit, the Ursa is 6 slotted as well, assuming he's always going to want an Aegis, which I think is a fair assumption to make with an Ursa. And the PL. I mean, at this point, has the Blink Dagger really done that much for him? Do you think it's an item that's paid for itself, or should he maybe free that slot up and try to get something else going?
We're going to have to hold that thought. Going to have a Bounty Hunter death here, but I do think that the Blink is good, because if you have Abyssal, Manta, and Diffusal, you blink in, you just Abyssal the target you want to go on. You burn the mana of that hero so quickly that they're not really going to be able to do much after the Abyssal itself wears off. And it also gives you good escape mechanisms as well. So I don't think it's something that you can really underestimate. I think it's very good, actually, to keep holding on to Blink, especially with this item progression.
Well, fair enough. If that's the case, he's 6-slotted as well.
That's the real...
Oh, Courier. Oh, that had 9,200 gold on it.
Dear Lord.
Oh, my God. That
was
is crippling.
It was like a full MKB, though, for the Ursa, so I don't know if he cares so much about that one item. Oh, it was a Rapier for the Ursa as well?
Was that what it was? Was it a Rapier?
Well, I guess that's what Webhouse was trying to show. I'm guessing it was... But I know that Madara bought an MKB, and I'm pretty sure it was on the Courier as well, so...
Yep, the MKB was on the Courier, as was a Ancient Relic, or Sacred Relic, excuse me.
Okay, it's just a Relic.
Yep, not the full...
Yeah, math is hard, actually, now that I think about it. That is no way it was for that.
Scandal roared out, but he's feeling awfully tanky. They're going to Hex out as well. People are on the way, and this is a big pick if Finem can get it. Can they? They absolutely can. Scandal caught out. He's down for 87 seconds. He will have a buyback if needed, though. The amount of terrain that Finem won't have to cover to go high ground, I think, is going to make that not matter. There, though, is the Scepter pickup for Miposhka, so the damage should be getting a little bit better, at least in the immediate future, but it definitely looks like Finem is ready to make a run at this top set of racks and try to close this game out.
Empire are going to have pretty much everything to defend this, so it's going to be a pretty bloodbath-style fight here, I would imagine.
Yep, there'll be a quick buyback from the Queen as soon as we see Finem commit. If they commit right now, they're currently split pushing a bit. They've teleported Thug down to the bottom lane to make sure that lane is shoving in just as hard. Going to try to catch Empire napping at the wheel a bit, trying to manage both creep waves. In the meantime, Madara, 3,100, almost 3,200 HP. And the engagements, a lot of posturing, as you said. Great word you used earlier. And just trying to get someone to overcommit. Madara's taking a fair amount of damage, but the tower's just about down now. Finem going to pull back and lick their wounds for a little while. And Tier 3 denied by the Enchantress. And looks like that might be enough for them. Nah, they're just going to wait on creeps. Let's see if they... at this point, I don't know why they wouldn't. They've got BKB, 7 seconds charge still left for Madara, as well as that Aegis. And he's just going to go straight to work. Blinks away.
I think they could actually have gone on the Ursa there.
Yep.
Because of the fact that the Night Stalker grants so much vision, I think they knew that Finem were quite a bit far away. And with them not being able to force a buyback out of Scandal, it might make Finem think twice about going on this. It's really tense because either team can win the fight. And the problem is it's harder for Finem to win the fight because they're playing into buybacks as well. I mean, you got a couple of heroes with boots of travel, of course, but...
Now the Ember has gone back down south. He's going to try to split push this out, so more of a tactical approach to things from Empire. And Queen of Pain's down there to shout it down. Now the Courier has popped back up. Now that's not, usually it's just like, oh, it's a side thought. That is 9,200 gold worth of items. They're going to go straight on Thug at bottom, though. Hex, Sonic Wave, and they're going to get him. Madara comes in, Forstaff gets Scandal out of harm's way. Now he's used his BKB, but it's just him down here. He's going to try to do what he can to get some damage done, but now with the PL and the Diffusal coming into effect, what an absolute misstep from Empire, or excuse me, from AF as Empire capitalizes on it, splitting themselves up, and Spartan's barely going to be able to make it away as well. That is such a crushing loss.
They had such good positioning on the map as well. Like, they had lanes pushing in non-stop. Mid was already dead, so they had to keep committing heroes from Empire to push that lane out. That was such good positioning from Finem, like the way that they were playing it out, but they just got a little bit too overzealous, ended up 2 heroes dropping, and now Empire are going to be able to establish their own map control once again, and they're already just like running down mid. Ramses is not wasting any time. He's just been pushing ever since they knew they were going to get those kills. Even a Bloodthorn now up on Scandal. He's got boots of travel. They're even going to force a buyback out of the Ember before he even starts hitting the tower. I'm not sure if that was even necessary, to be honest. I mean, I guess they didn't see the Queen, so maybe they weren't sure how close Empire was to just immediately pushing. But I think he could have held that for a little bit longer.
Slowly but surely, Draskell, almost every hero on the map's getting 6-slotted.
Yeah, it's a long game.
Yep, as the Beastmaster's added a refresher. He's still got a cheese slot he could fill with something if he wanted to. But even the supports are feeling very, very rich. as the even the Witch Doctor, one of the lower levels on the map. Oh, Rapier, hello.
It's an Ember game now.
We real now, boys.
Yeah, Rapier Ember is nothing to trifle with.
Nope. And it's fun to cast these games, but my God, is it tense. It's beginning to just have that feel of someone's going to make a mistake, and that's going to be the game.
Yeah, that's just really where we're at. I mean, yep. And late game Dota, that's what it boils down to, is whoever makes the bigger mistake.
Yep.
And sometimes it can be timing, sometimes it can be like making the wrong item choice, but I think more than anything in this particular game, it's who has the better vision and who gets better initiation.
Yeah. That's
going to be just ultimately what decides the game.
We've seen that be the case all throughout the game, really. We can point back to one or two major fights about every 15-minute block that completely swung the way the game felt and was going, and almost always, as you astutely point out, and you said this even back during the draft, is just vision. Just it comes down so much to that with a Beastmaster and a Night Stalker on opposite sides. So now let's talk a little bit about late game Ursa while we're waiting. I mean, Ursa is one of those heroes who, as you've said throughout the entire game, really does have this moment of power spike when he's most effective. How do you feel about him as we get close to an hour in? Is he the hero you want? Do you have to start doing some weird things with him? Or is it just, hey, same as always, run at him and kill people?
I mean, it is pretty much the same playstyle. Nothing changes drastically when you get to the 6-slotted point. You want to get on a hero, you want to use all your abilities, and you want to just hit him. Just hit him really hard, really fast, make sure he's dead. That's the Ursa that I think everyone is used to. And with the two items that he has, like the Hex and the Abyssal, you can lock a hero down potentially for what, like almost 6 seconds? It's a really, really long disable. So if you can get on a core hero or even like a support and just blow them up, then you're still offering quite a bit to your team. Ursa's just a little bit weaker during the late game because some heroes carry gold better than he does, and I think Phantom Lancer is one of them.
Right.
Because if you can't focus down Ramses instantly, then you're going to have a billion illusions on the side of the fight. It becomes very confusing. You don't know which one is which. And Ursa doesn't have any way of clearing illusions. He's only good when he gets the lockdown on the target and kills it within that lockdown. And that's why we stress the importance of like the Beastmaster Roar and making sure that the Ursa's there to follow it up.
BKB picked up by the Ember. Let's see if he's going to swap out the Blink. We talked about swapping the Blink out. No, he's actually going to end up swapping out his Monkey King bar and his Lincoln Sphere. So he's got he's got a ton of gold just sitting around right now because he's so limited on slots.
It's kind of the Ember problem, is that he needs like another inventory slot, I think.
Yeah. Well, Roche is going to be back up before long. And we can see a little bit of grab ass being played over here. Is it actually going to work out? Yes, they are going to try to fight this out. There's a Hex on the Spartan as well. They bring down maybe next time Scandal in trouble. There's going to be the Embrace, keep him alive. Now Madara locked down as well. Death Ward doing what damage it needs to do. Now a Roar onto Afterlife as well. Oh my God, the crit. What a crit. And with that, Empire is blown off the map and they catch up with Miposhka as well. Alive just for the virtue of the Ghost Scepter, but didn't last long. Double kill, 4 wiped off the map. And that Rapier paying for itself there. And you can see it drawn on the map. Run down mid, hit the Ancient.
Yeah, they need to force buybacks, and unfortunately right now, this Night Stalker doesn't have buyout. He bought an Octarine before the fight started, so that could be a very costly mistake here from the side of Empire. They really do need every single hero available to stop this push.
His silence is so important in trying to deal with the Ember in particular.
I mean, they're going to have to like suicide the PL and buyback on him, I think, to stop this.
Here we go. They're going to immediately jump Pashka. Thugs out there. There is the silence out of it off the Orchid. Sonic Wave's going to be on point, but the damage isn't nearly big enough. Roar's there. Scandal has to run. Madara will end up dropping amidst all of the chaos. No, he won't. BKB's and the Embrace to keep him alive. Thug has a sleight of fist in 2 seconds, and no, he's going to end up dropping. And that's going to be a Rapier on the deck, and it's picked up by Ramses. Are you serious?
That's not good.
No, it's not, because you didn't just drop 1 Rapier. You dropped 1 Rapier for all of his buddies that he's going to end up producing as he runs down mid now. What an absolute bonkers game. The back and forth has been absolutely real. The biggest lead we saw was just shy of 20K in favor of Finem, and now it's cut down to about 5,000, and it's only going to go up as they just charge down mid lane. The Ember himself does not have buyback either. He's down for the full 70, man. What are they going to do?
I don't know. This is really tough. Just to clarify, Rapier does not benefit illusions. Just so everyone knows.
I did not know that.
I don't want to have any misinformation here, but
my bad.
Yeah, in regards to, oh man, at Finem, we're just going like so hard there. I think they got really excited. You know, it's like, okay, we got these really important kills. The Night Stalker's not buying back. We can do this. We can do this. And then it's like, you can't sleep on the Phantom Lancer during the late game. That's really, I think, what ended up hurting them the most. And with Ember being dead, there's nothing they can really do about this Phantom Lancer at all. They're just not going to be able to have the damage output to clear illusions. And Empire are just rolling on all fours here, just taking the entire base of that Venom pretty much.
There's the Hex, but you don't want to get anywhere near him. And whether or not it benefits illusions, kind of irrelevant, as they're just clearing buildings like they're paper mache. Ember's going to be back up in 15 seconds, tier 3. And there's a buyback from the Wyvern. Here we go. They're just going to suicide, and they know they have to. Skylark got silenced. There's a Sonic Wave. Doesn't really matter. Here comes the Wyvern back in. Ramsey's kept alive with the Embrace. He's going to come out of this with the Vengeance. King R dies behind him, and now Skylark in some trouble, trying to catch up with him. The Ember re-engaging, and they will be able to isolate him down. And once again, the Rapier is on the deck, picked up by the Bounty Hunter this time.
All right, well, I guess better than nothing. I don't know why he picked it up, though, because no one else from Empire was there. He should have just left it on the ground.
Well, now, time to run home, man. Just run straight down lane and hope.
Yeah, hopes and dreams. That's what Finem are running on here. Winter Wyvern doesn't have buyout, though, so maybe they have a shot here. They are Megid, but it doesn't matter if they're Megid because they can just walk down the lane that's already dead. There's only one tier 4. There is actually a chance for them to win this game. And because the Phantom Lancer also bought back, that means that they kill him once, they do win.
Yep.
So this is like the ultimate in
refresher.
This is Spooksville right now for Empire.
Only one tier 4. It's Madara out front. Once again, it's going to be the Bounty Hunter that has the Rapier. They got to keep him alive. And
whoa! Okay, that's a really bad time to pause.
Whoa!
Okay, I guess we get a breather as yeah, there it is. There's the forehead.
64-minute absolute slugfest between these two CIS teams.
I love this refresher choice from Ramses, by the way. This is like one of the best late game, or like in this scenario, right? What other item gives you the utility of 2 Mantas, having like a potential double Blink, double Doppelganger, 2 Abyssal Blades? Like, there's nothing else that's going to give him the bang for the buck that a refresher does in the situation with him not having buyback regardless. You know, he doesn't need the money. So this is probably the single best thing he can buy.
Here we go, ready to roll. Let's see if Empire can reach down deep and stop it one more time. If so, they'll win. And there's going to be the roar. Afterlife caught out. Madara's right on top of him. And here comes Skylark with that refresher. Roars down. Scandal. Scandal's out. Afterlife has to run behind his own Ancients. Ramsey's trying to go toe-to-toe. He doesn't have buyback. Can he make it back home? He can. Uses the Manta, force that back home, but it doesn't matter. The throne down to about a 1/3 health. They're trying to hold, hold. The curse is real. Madara's going to end up dropping, but it doesn't matter. It comes down to a last GG push for the second time, my friend. Second time at WePlay. We just saw a team win when they were Megid. Second time it's happened in 2 days. And this is just game 1 of a series between 2 excellent CIS teams. One comes in as a favorite, one comes in